Xi Jinping unveils a new anti-missile system, just days after issuing a sharp and direct warning to the United States. The new missile system is capable of detecting and intercepting ultra-low altitude threats, including sea-skimming projectiles. The system is deployed in live drills that simulate complex scenarios, including incoming hypersonic missile attacks under combat conditions. The new defensive shield is designed to protect China's naval assets, potentially securing an invasion fleet in a Taiwan conflict scenario. Beijing signals a clear message to Washington, indicating that any move on Taiwan will face a tested and operational defense network. China is demonstrating its military capabilities shortly after issuing a firm warning on Taiwan during discussions involving Donald Trump, reflecting a measured but clear signal of intent. China has conducted a test of an advanced missile defense system in the Bohai Sea, carrying out the exercise under complex and simulated wartime operational conditions. Chinese state media reported that the system is capable of intercepting ultra-low altitude threats, including sea-skimming projectiles that are typically difficult to detect and counter. According to reports by Force Index, the trials included simulations involving high-speed drones and scenarios resembling potential hypersonic missile attacks to evaluate system performance. Released footage from the exercise showed multiple incoming drones being successfully intercepted and destroyed during drills focused on low-altitude penetration attempts. Military commentator Li Yaqiang stated that electronic warfare has increasingly evolved into a distinct domain of warfare, influencing the outcomes of modern conflicts. The system was tested in environments with significant electromagnetic interference, replicating battlefield conditions where communication and targeting systems may face disruption. It is designed to address a critical operational gap between long-range missile defense systems and close-in weapon systems used for last-line protection. The system is capable of engaging targets flying at extremely low altitudes, approximately 5 to 10 meters above sea level, enhancing defense against sea-skimming threats. It is built to operate effectively even in conditions involving heavy electronic warfare or jamming, ensuring reliability in contested electromagnetic environments. The interceptor may utilize lofted dive trajectories, allowing it to approach targets from optimal angles and improve the probability of a successful interception. There are indications that the system could employ kinetic kill technology, enabling precise target neutralization through direct impact rather than explosive warheads. The system is likely to be deployed on advanced naval platforms such as the Type 055 destroyer, enhancing fleet-wide air defense capabilities. It is also expected to be integrated into the Type 052D destroyer, expanding its operational use across multiple surface combatants. Future deployment may extend to platforms like the Type 054 frigate, indicating broader integration across the Navy's fleet structure. This development comes as Xi Jinping continues to expand China's naval capabilities amid rising tensions in the Taiwan region. Such advancements are viewed as important steps toward countering emerging high-end naval threats, particularly those involving advanced missile and drone technologies. Notably, the revelation of the missile test came at a time when Xi Jinping had issued a firm warning on Taiwan during a tense exchange with Donald Trump. Taiwan reacted on May 16 after President Donald Trump said he had not yet decided on future U.S. arms sales to the island. A Taiwanese diplomat used the moment to argue for continued American weapons support amid rising tensions and persistent invasion fears. Chen Mingkai said arms sales have long been a cornerstone of regional peace and stability. Reuters noted that the United States is bound by the Taiwan Relations Act to provide Taiwan with defensive weapons.
Taiwan-U.S. arms sales have always been a cornerstone of regional peace and stability, and at the same time this is also a situation confirmed in the Taiwan Relations Act. And our consistent response, when talking about Taiwan arms sales, is that there will always be the same kind of answer. There has been no change in policy, just like the U.S. side has repeatedly emphasized this time, whether it is the Secretary of State or the President, repeatedly stressing that their Taiwan policy has not changed. Likewise, our position on arms sales has also not changed. This, Trump wanting to talk to lie, we will confirm. I think on that there are still many things. After all, this was a conversation on the plane, so I think many things will be left to be followed up and confirmed later. As for what the true intent of his remarks is, I think we still need to further understand. I think what I am saying is that the Republic of China is a sovereign and independent country. I think this is a very clear fact. We in the People's Republic of China are not subordinate to each other, and only the 23 million people of Taiwan can decide our own destiny through democratic means. I think this is something that does not change. Taiwan in this region, is committed to maintaining peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait and regional security, and is one of the most important assets in this region. This has always been our consistent attitude.
The US remains Taiwan's most important international backer as the self-governed island faces growing pressure from China. Beijing claims democratic Taiwan as its own territory and continues to push for eventual unification. Trump was pressed on whether he would continue arms sales to Taiwan after his talks with Xi Jinping. "I have to speak to the person," Trump said, while suggesting he would also need to discuss the matter with Taiwan's counterpart. The reported $14 billion US weapons package for Taiwan remains stuck in limbo. Reports say the White House has paused the formal congressional notification process tied to that package.
Taiwan? What did President Xi say to you about Taiwan? What did President Xi say to you about Taiwan? And are you still going to approve the arms sale?
So, President Xi and I talked a lot about Taiwan. He thinks they cannot have anything to do with what they're doing. I mean, he's against very much what they're doing. We talked about Taiwan, we talked about Iran a lot, and I think we have a very good understanding what on Taiwan, he does not want to see a fight for independence because that would be a very strong confrontation.
US President Donald Trump reaffirmed Washington's long-standing status quo policy on Taiwan following his latest talks with China. The remarks came after Trump held high-level discussions with Chinese President Xi Jinping on May the 14th and 15th. Clarification on Trump's Taiwan position was later provided by US Ambassador to the United Nations Mike Waltz. Waltz said Trump made no commitments regarding Taiwan during his meetings with Xi Jinping. Mike Waltz said, and I quote, "At the end of the day, made no commitments either way, in line with our long-standing policy of strategic ambiguity. There is a whole line of thinking that if you basically indicate or tell China that we won't be there, that it could embolden them as well. There was a large backlog of weapons orders from Taiwan, but that it was up to Trump whether he wanted to cancel them. I think the president was quite clear that there's going to be a status quo going forward," unquote. Mike Waltz made these remarks during an interview with Fox News on May 15 following President Trump's China visit. According to Waltz, the United States continues to follow its long-standing policy of strategic ambiguity on Taiwan. The United States continues to maintain informal ties with Taiwan without officially recognizing it as a separate country. China, meanwhile, repeated that Taiwan independence and regional peace are as irreconcilable as fire and water. Beijing has long opposed American military support and diplomatic engagement with Taiwan's government. The renewed remarks come as Taiwan remains a major flashpoint in the broader US-China rivalry. The comments also followed earlier statements on Taiwan policy from the US Secretary of State after the first day of Trump's China talks. Hours after Xi Jinping's unusually open threat over Taiwan, the US Secretary of State delivered a statement on the island, trying to project firmness even as the president stayed cautious. Marco Rubio outlined America's Taiwan policy right after Trump concluded his first day of talks with China, effectively filling the silence left by the president on this sensitive question. He made these remarks in an on-camera interview with NBC News in Beijing on May 14th, ensuring his message reached audiences in the United States, China, and Taiwan at the same time. The Taiwan issue emerged as a major point in talks that were otherwise dominated by the conflict involving Iran and the wider Middle East crisis. During their closed-door discussions, Xi warned Trump that US support for Taiwan, if pushed too far, could lead to clashes and conflicts between Washington and Beijing. He reportedly went further, saying that if the Taiwan issue was mishandled, the United States and China could come into conflict, leaving little doubt about where China's red lines lie. Subsequently, the official White House readout on the summit appeared to skip any mention of Taiwan, adding to the sense that the topic was too sensitive to spell out publicly. Trump also seemed to dodge a question on Taiwan during his choreographed visit to the Temple of Heaven with Xi, reinforcing the impression that he did not want to publicly provoke Beijing on camera.
Great place, great, incredible. China's beautiful.
At the same time, Taiwan declared that it would maintain close ties with the United States following Xi's threat, signaling that Taipei has no intention of backing away from its key security partner.